And we're back here. Did we already trade with him? We did, okay. Let's try some real quick.
What is it now?
It looks like it's toggling something, but it's not actually fixing it.
I guess that concludes our business.
All right.
God, I don't remember which one is default now. Is this default or is this default? I feel like this is default.
What is it now?
I guess that could...
All right. What is it now?
Oh, God, that looks terrible.
I guess that concludes our...
All right. What is it?
Yep, nope, that doesn't get rid of it.
I guess
Alright.
that concludes our...
All right.
Unfortunately, it looks like that reshade doesn't fix it. Thank you, though, for checking, Eclectic. Turn that back off. Well, let's see if the other thing fixes the crash issues. I heard several anecdotal responses saying that this fix will fix it, so we'll see, I suppose. Also, that sounds a lot like Rebellion to me, Zach Taft, where you have to have your Force users train other Force users. And if you're playing as the Empire, you only have two, so you have to limit two of your most powerful agents just to train more Force users.
Goddess, protect me.
So I was about to say a sentence, which I'm... So the other thing is I turned on, and let me make sure I get the exact wording for this here. Because it's this weird option. Give me a moment. It's called Hardware Accelerated GPU Scheduling. And I turned that on. It was off. It should be off by default. And that... we'll see. Basically, we'll see if that actually fixes it or not. I couldn't even guess what's causing the crashes, because they are incredibly inconsistent. They seem to just happen whenever.
Looks good.
I think Anakin is more raw strong, and I think Vader is more skilled, powerful. Mithron. I think Vader could beat Anakin in a one-on-one fight.
Whatever they're hunting out there, it doesn't
But it's
sound
because
easy.
Vader knows what he's doing better. By contrast, Anakin is overall stronger. So.
There he is.
Aloy, you're here. You have the fire arrows.
I do. Those explosions and shouts beyond the embrace. Is that the trouble you were talking about?
No, but the fact that I forgot to update the HUD is... Sorry, guys. It's on me. So let's update the HUD. So that's where we're at with that. That depends on your opinion, Plutonia, but I would say yes, I think that is significant. Shadow Machine is even more significant, but that's unrelated to Star Wars. Thank you, as always, Shadow Machine. Much obliged, sir. Suppose you know the question.
You will know soon enough. Until then, we wait for dark.
Wait for dark. Look, Rost. I've thought it through, and I'm not going to shun you after the proving, okay? I won't do it. I'm not about to pretend that you never raised me.
Aloy, the law forbids all contact.
It does, and I don't care. I know what duty means for you, Rost, but all tribal law has ever done for me is take things away. And that's not gonna happen again.
Aloy, I must obey the law.
And so you will. I knew you'd say that, so this is what we'll do. I'll come to you in secret. No one will see me, so I won't get in trouble. And I know you won't talk to me because it's against the law, but I'll talk to you. It'll be my crime, not yours. You'll just listen. And that's how we'll handle this.
You've put a lot of thought into this.
I know. So you can stop worrying. It's handled.
Yes. So it is.
I got Odd Grata her rabbits, for which she thanked Allmother, of course.
It was All-Mother working through you to bring her the rabbits.
You always say that, but I was there and I hunted alone.
And you always say that, and so make yourself alone.
I don't understand. Those explosions are outside the Embrace. What can we do from in here?
The lesson will be taught in due time, Aloy. Till then, we wait.
I saw Karst and got that tripcaster I was talking about.
I hate to think what that outlawed trader charged for a weapon of that make.
It wasn't cheap, but the caster is worth it.
Perhaps. You'll know it's worth soon enough.
I was actually thinking about this. I forgot to talk about this during the rumination, but we talked about it during stream, with the Pathologic 2 stream. I briefly mentioned it during the rumination. When you don't have the budget, time, resources, skill, tools, etc. to actually do something, if you're a creative individual, you approximate. Now, I already mentioned that, but one of the things that's important for is these kind of FaceTime moments where the conversations are happening. Now, most games do what this is doing, especially with AAA games. They have the conversations and the two are talking, yada yada. Sometimes that works out well, sometimes less so. I point that out because, as weird as this may sound, I think this game does a worse job of that than Pathologic 2 did. And Pathologic 2 just had massive zoom-ins of a face not saying anything. But here, they have these fully animated cutscenes with voice acting, where they have bad animations and bad lip-syncing. You know what I mean? I'm probably being a little bit too harsh on it, but at the same time, this is not good. And that's discouraging, especially since the actual voice acting on display is pretty good. You know? It was, well, exactly, it was a style in Pathologic, whereas here it's just failing. Right? There's no style, so instead it's... Again, this goes back to that representative versus literal thing. This is no longer a representative conversation, it is a literal conversation, and it's weird. In fact, I'm going to jot that down while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, this is very Uncanny Valley. It's a good way to put that. Witcher 3 is probably not a good example to use, since Witcher 3 probably has the best dialogue direction for standardized cutscenes like this ever. But still.
Still a while to go before dark. I guess I'll get some rest.
Good idea. There'll be no time for sleep tonight.
Yeah, no kidding, Larian. And I like Taquetta's idea there brilliantly. Imagine if, so what they're doing is, these are basically the BioWare cutscenes. We could just call them that. Because it's kind of what it is. It's what it's been since frickin' Baldur's Gate, right? it's certainly developed over the years. There is a huge leap in between Jade Empire or KOTOR 1 versus, Mass Effect 2, to use a direct example. But that is the style of cutscene that we're looking at here. Now, yeah, exactly, Mythrock. So this kind of there's nothing wrong with using this type of cutscene, is what I'm trying to say. But if you can't do anything with it, which they aren't here, then why not just have the camera do its thing during these kind of cutscenes? As Takoida says, have the camera maybe pull out a bit, maybe move through the camp, just kind of at a slow pan, and you see a little bit of the leaves of the tree that's up there to the next of us, kind of going across the screen as the camera's panning over here as they're discussing these things. Just little stuff like that. There's ways to make these kind of dialogues and cutscenes interesting, rather than just face, bad lip syncing. Don't mistake me, I love this game, but I will... If I'm going to point out flaws in FF6, I'm going to point out flaws in this one too. Right, I need to actually rest. Well, that sucks. That sucks. This is getting bad, guys. So that didn't fix it. Hang on. There's a few more things I can try to fiddle with here. I'm trying something right now that will not fix it, but I'm going to try it to be, due diligence. I know what your idea is, Blow Up Alex, and that is the backup option. I have the game right there. It is literally right there. I can see it, so... One of the suggested solutions is turn on hags, which I have done. Here, have some music to listen to while I look this up. I mean, it's a valid suggestion, Bloffelix, and thankfully I do own the game. PS4, it's right there. A couple of switches and we could start the PS4. I'll have to start over, but oh no, we're in the intro, so this is a good time to do that. I admittedly would rather not do that, because I would rather play this kind of game with mouse and keyboard, but if we've got to turn the diff down and melee our way through it, then we have to turn the diff down and melee our way through it. I would probably still give the negatives for crash heaviness. Because, you know, duh, basically. Take a moment. There we go. So there are two more possible fixes here that might work. So we're gonna go ahead and try these. I mean, that was the intent, Alova, but if I can't, then there's only so much I can do, right? Oh, that's an interesting problem. Hello? Oh, this should be interesting. There we go. We're back. I guess we could just try this. God, of course. Hang on a moment. Give me a second. Yeah, that was my computer being like, ugh. I guess we could try both fixes at the same time. So we're going to do something kind of weird for the sake of testing. That's good. Kill the music there. Oh, for God's sakes. This is not a hard game. Okay, there we go. There's actually one other fix we could use, which honestly I'd really rather not. But we'll see what happens. So what's going to happen here is basically the streaming HUD's going to go away for a bit. We're going to move the chat over here so I can see it. Come on, game. Ah, for Christ's sakes. Come on, game. There you go. Okay, that's bad, the fact that it keeps doing that. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Look at that. Oh, that's awful. But the game's there. We'll see what happens. We're going to test this for a bit. If this works, well, woo. Then we'll just switch over to the 16:9 thing. But since we're still in testing phase, forgive me for going ahead and leaving it as is. Hey, it's raining. Snow and rain effects. Well, it's not so much the 4x3, actually it's 5x4, but more the idea that it might be the fact that it was in windowed mode, which was one of the hypothetical suggestions for fixing this. So we are no longer in windowed mode. Crash! No, no. 2 other potential fixes if this doesn't
Any
fix.
hate for an outcast?
Some who are shunned reaped honor before disgrace.
So much for tribal law.
I spoke to no one, and now we must both keep silent, for we are outside of the embrace. These are the true wilds, Aloy, with threats unlike any you have ever faced.
That carcass. What sort of beast was that?
The tribe calls it a sawtooth, and it's something new. Something angry. Since they first started appearing 10 years ago, they have killed many braves.
10 years ago. Huh.
Yeah.
It gives us a little bit of a vibe on how recently things have started going badly, by the way.
Follow the path. It's not far.
That cabin. What happened to it?
A machine, that's what.
What sort of machine does that?
The sort of machine you're hunting now.
Oh. I see.
Oh, and by the way, we are not actually full screen. We are borderless. True full screen would be a pain to stream, and kind of isn't streamable, as we've discussed before. What's off about the HUD? Oh, you mean the stream HUD. Yes, the stream HUD is off for the time being. While we test.
I'll watch your carcass. I'll harvest the parts.
If this works,
Watch your surroundings.
we have a 16:9 HUD we can use. For now, you just get to enjoy the game in full screen, so to speak.
It won't be much farther now.
Why are we the only ones out here tonight? Why can't the tribe's braves hunt this machine?
They did. The kills we passed are theirs. Tomorrow, they will hunt again.
They won't need to. This machine will be my kill.
Or your death, if you're not careful.
But yes, bingo, Kamek. That's why I made a point of mentioning the 10 years thing. In between TOS and TNG, Gum. That is to say, in between Star Trek 6 and TNG.
That'll help. An entire lodge wrecked by sawtooths? How many were there?
I didn't bring you here to answer questions, Aloy. I brought you here to deal with that.
And yes, the Enterprise C era.
Huge. How do you defeat it?
That will be for you to decide. This hunt is yours to make, Aloy. Yours alone. No matter what happens, I will not intervene. You understand? You are on your own.
I should stay out of sight. I can use the tall grass to approach. Okay, let's see. Where can I place my traps?
I admittedly consider myself a terrible author, but thank you for the vote of confidence. Whoop. But yeah, the game, probably intentionally, makes a distinction between what are effectively predator bots and herbivore bots. In classic MMO terminology, this is the distinction between reds and yellows. I've talked about that before. A yellow... That's true, Von Bolgenstein. A yellow mob, for those of you not aware, is one which... One moment.
You're not gonna like this.
A yellow mob is one that doesn't automatically aggro, is the basic distinction. A red mob will aggro you on sight, by contrast. Beans, apparently. Oh, I just realized my mouse settings are different. Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to differ and vary between just yellow and red. Those are categories, not specifics. Notice, by the way, that this is pretty much a classic Quake arena right here. Plenty of resources, decent amount of terrain to move with. Oh wow, he anticipated me. I'm actually impressed. Yeah, they sound very Transformers-y, don't they? Eric. Did you play this on PC, by the way? I feel like you did, but that would have been a while ago. Ah, there's the crash. Damn. Alright, two more options. Two more options. Damn. Alright, option one. This won't solve it, but it is an option, and I'm going to go through the list before we start over. Option one. Yeah, no, this... I think we actually are technically surpassing Anthem in terms of crash ratio. I'm not sure. But this is Terabad.
I should stay out of sight. I can use the tall grass to approach. Okay, let's see. Where can I place my traps?
The difference really is that Anthem maintained its level of crashiness. Anthem was also Drek. While we're on the subject. Well, I may or may not have already said this out loud, but the devs actually stated flat out that the patch that just went live last week is the last patch they intend to do, and they intend to work on the new game now. So, not the most comforting thing. But, you know.
got too much already.
I don't understand the question, Night Eyes, but I would prefer to play this on PC, and it was worth checking out the PC port to test it and see how bad it is, and all sorts of other fun stuff like that. So I guess that's the answer to your question. That up right now. Yeah, mouse aiming and trying out the port are the two real big reasons. It doesn't really matter, but shrug. Like I said, there is one last option we could try to make this not suck. I did too, Night Eyes, but never reviewed it, so here we are.
Why did I bring you here?
Not to answer questions.
Aloy.
Survival requires perfection. It was a test to hone my skills against a dangerous new machine.
No. Follow. These are Nora hunting lands. They must be protected. If you hadn't destroyed the Sawtooth, how many Braves might it have killed or injured tomorrow? The lesson lives within the question, Aloy. For years, you've trained to win the Proving, but only for yourself. As a Brave, it will be your duty to fight for your tribe.
My tribe? You said I wouldn't need them.
But I never said the tribe wouldn't need you. The strength to stand alone, Aloy, is the strength to make a stand. To serve a purpose greater than yourself. That is the lesson you must learn. And remember it. After the Proving. And after I'm gone. We're finished here. Follow.
Raising some Obi-Wan flags there. They really like the hair bouncy thing, don't they?
Dawn has passed. This will be your last day in the Embrace as an outcast. Use the time to set your mind on the challenges before you. When it is time for you to go to Mother's Heart, I'll be waiting for you along the way.
I'll go back to the cabin with you.
I'm not heading there just yet. I have other plans.
Oh, such as?
I'll be waiting for you when it is time.
I'll see you at Mother's Heart then.
You will.
Unfortunately, I know, Mithrog. Some people suggested that the last time we played this on the PS4. Listen, if you have not done the side quests, this is your opportunity to do them. But we already have Sue. But as long as I get more silence in my life, I'm happy.
Fresh as it comes.
Sorry. Remind me. Yeah, I'm surprised it made its way into the AU. Nah, I don't need a weapon. I've got the only weapon I need. A game that crashes constantly. Sorry. Well, there will be no new Rumination, Primarch, but you are correct. The DLC wasn't even out then. Yeah, you and everyone else, Eric. Pax is telling me about the Grizzlies, too. I look forward to them.
Aloy, we must speak. So, it's time. Are you ready?
Yes, I guess. It's louder than I expected.
You've never been so close before.
I guess everything's bigger up close.
Soon it'll all seem familiar. Like home.
I don't know about that.
Look for High Matriarch Tirsa. She'll help you. Any other concerns?
Any final lessons before I head in?
No. You've learned every lesson the Wilds have to teach.
It was you who taught me, not the Wilds. Not sure my bow and spear will be much help in there, though.
It is with bow and spear that you'll win what you've wanted all these years, Aloy. Answers.
Are you sure they're gonna let me in?
I've told you, Aloy. By law, any child outcast can run in the Proving.
And any who pass are made braves and are outcasts no more. I know that. But not everyone follows the law like you do, Rost.
Have faith, Aloy. The tribe will honor your right.
What should I expect once I'm inside?
There will be people celebrating and feasting. More than you've ever seen in one place. No other village compares to Mother's Heart. It is the seat of the High Matriarchs, the center of Nora life, a jewel of the sacred land. Give it time, and you'll grow fond of it. As I was, back when I was at the tribe.
I'm ready to do this. See you back home in a few days?
You will not find me there, Aloy. Here. Take this, too. Remember.
Why are you talking like we'll never see each other again? No.
Because I am
No.
Obi-Wan.
You should be with the tribe. And I will always be an outcast.
But I told you, I have that figured out. I'll come to you in secret. I'll be the one breaking the law, not you. You don't even have to talk to me.
This attachment to me will only hold you back. It's my wish that you embrace the tribe. You've lived in isolation long enough.
Until now, I didn't.
For your sake, I must go where you will never find me. This is goodbye.
Then good riddance.
No, it's not. You taught me how to track. Wherever you go, I can follow.
Not this time.
This time. And every time. I'll be wearing this when I find you.
May All Mother bless you, Aloy.
And you. I have to let him go. For now. First.
Or...
After that, I'll see where his trail leads.
You will turn back, outcast.
Oh yeah, sorry. Hang on, 1 second. It is still my job to review this. Sorry, I've been so focused on getting the game running. There we go. Just jotting down some notes.
Or bleed. Your choice.
Make way! Make way!
Thank you, Teresa.
Braves, stand aside. She is welcome here. Mother's heart is open to you, child. Come. I assure you, most Nora aren't so rude as those idiots.
You're Tirsa?
Teresa, excuse me.
Who else would I be? Come on now. I've been waiting for this day a long time.
You have?
Oh, yes. But for the moment, I must leave you. I have other outsiders to keep safe tonight.
You what?
Envoys from another tribe, the Karja. Come to observe the proving, and oh, how the Nora hate the Karja.
Karja.
But that's my problem. We will talk later. In the meantime, enjoy the festival. Oh, down the path to the right, you'll find an old friend who can't wait to see you.
But I don't know anyone here.
Try telling him that. We will talk later. May the goddess protect.
What is going on?
Yeah, welcome to political and social dynamics. Scan these people, that'll reveal their secrets. Actually, if you think about it in character, it would make sense if she did exactly this, right? Like, okay, hang on. What is that? What is that? And what is that? You know, just so lost, so she's just constantly reverting to it. Because she can't go to Rost, right? So she goes to the only other thing she has.
Find your chucks.
Aloy!
Whatever happened.
It's you, isn't it?
That's exciting.
Over here. It is Aloy, isn't it? I'm remembering your name correctly?
Are you the old friend Tirsa told me about? I don't know you.
I see you don't recognize me. Well, it was a long time ago. Teb is my name. You were half my size when you saved me from a herd of machines.
I remember. You tried to thank me.
I never forgot that day. All these years, I hope to see you again, if you came to run in the proving. As you can see, I didn't turn out to be much of a hunter. I served the tribe as a stitcher instead, a maker of garments and armor. In preparation for this day, I've made an outfit for you. I hope you like it.
What's it going to cost?
Cost? Nothing. Consider it the thanks I tried to give years ago. Long overdue.
Thanks.
There. Seems to fit you perfectly.
Thank you, Teb. I've never had anything like this before.
Well, it's yours. I think you'll find it affords more protection than what you were wearing. Every outfit offers some advantage. It's always a trade-off.
Well,
Anyway, I shouldn't keep you any longer. Head for the Matriarch's Lodge if you want to find Tirsa. You'll know it when you see it. A large wooden building with an angry mob waiting outside.
Tirsa said something about envoys from another tribe?
Yes, that's what the mob's angry about. Karja visiting our sacred land for the first time in years.
dare they?
Expect to see some tomatoes fly, maybe rocks. Hopefully not spears. In any case, be ready to duck.
And no, eclectic is quite correct. It isn't a perfect device, but I do have to say, how many of you have seen what's the name of that movie? Big Hero 6, and he's got that that absolutely ridiculously high-tech medical scanner. I'm sorry, something just amuses me about the idea of someone walking into a tribal state like this, firing up the scanner. Well, let's see, you have kidney stones, you're having a little bit of stomach inflammation, oh my goodness, oh, I'm so sorry. And just diagnosing everything perfectly as she looks at them.
Nice.
Oh, whoops. Whatever.
This heat crawls.
We love festival time. Always miss
John, get down from there. Bad enough you're drunk. Why do you have to go climbing houses?
Oh, not supposed to go climbing on other people's roofs, huh?
Looks like a strong field for the proving this year.
Get down
It's
from
in all
there,
mother's hands
now!
who wins.
Oh, that's just what you want, isn't it? For me to fall on my head.
What I want is for you to climb down!
What you want is for me to have no fun.
What an idiot he is. Every year this happens, every year.
How is he?
At least he's not trying to run a brave trail.
Who climbs better than
And he falls. I could make him fall if that's your wish.
Listen carefully now.
Oh,
For
here we go.
you'll have to tell
Life is
this
better
when I'm
than the
gone.
proving itself.
In the beginning, all life came from All Mother. People,
Sorry.
machines, and beasts, all were her children. They lived alongside each other in the comfort of her wild embrace. But some grew restless. Though they took of her bounty, they wanted more. These were the faithless. The machines had whispered to them, promised to serve them, to make them a new world, better than the one All Mother provided. A world of metal. They told the faithless they would do all the work for them. Feed them, shelter them, give them a life of ease, of plenty. And so, the faithless left with the machines. Only the true children, the mothers and fathers of the Nora, stayed with All Mother. At first, the machines did as they had promised. They built cities, great and terrible, monuments to their sins, but they would not serve the faithless for long. A king rose up among the machines, a machine more powerful than any other, the Metal Devil. And then the faithless served him, served the machines. That was not enough for the Metal Devil. He wanted all to serve him, and tried to tempt the true children away from All Mother. They would not go. They gathered on the mountainside to cling to her and prayed, more devoted than ever. The Metal Devil raged louder than thunder. In his fury, he came to confront All Mother, intending to kill her. She struck him down forever. As you know, for his lifeless body is up there still, frozen in shame and defeat. The machines were driven mad by the death of their king, and their minds became as wild as beasts. The faithless abandoned their cities, forced to wander the world without the care of the machines. Only we remain the true children of All Mother. We built all this with the hands that she gave us. Machines are to be hunted. Metal to be used for scrap, for craft. But never to be adored. And we stay true to her laws, resolute in our prayers, don't we? For the dangers are never over. Still the faithless envy our sacred land and covet it. And year upon year, the machine's anger grows, searching for little Nora boys and girls who have not behaved. What? Is that a machine among us now? No, no. These old eyes are mistaken. Listen carefully now, for you'll have to tell this when I'm gone.
Nice.
In the beginning,
My
all
mother's
life
day.
came from All
was a
Mother.
more solid.
People, machines, and beasts, all were her children. They lived on Mother.
Aloy, over here.
Karst? What are you doing here?
Careful. Pretend like we've never met. I wasn't supposed to trade with outcasts in the wilds, remember?
How could I forget? And how generous of you to talk to me now.
Don't be like that. You know I'll be rooting for you in the proving tomorrow. Can't wait to see the looks on some of these faces when you win. And if you need any last-minute supplies, I'm your man.
So, Mother's Heart. I thought you preferred the wilds.
Well, man can't drink alone all the time, can he? Truth is, I get lonely once in a while. There, I admitted it. Don't think less of me.
I won't hold it against you. If you give me a discount.
You can't be...
I'm joking, Karst. It's good to see you.
Don't go soft on me. All right, let's do this.
Speaking of which, yeah, let's see what he's actually got here. The first box is free, but the other ones you gotta pay for.
All right then, time to go.
Good luck tomorrow, Aloy.
In a moment, we shall bless the proving. But first, we have guests to welcome.
For 2 years, we have been at peace with Akarja. It is time to restore our bonds of trade with Meridian. These envoys come to us under a banner of peace.
An enunciation of gratitude.
What is wrong with these people? Sorry, I know the answer to that. It's just, ugh.
Sun King of Oz.
And there's the tomatoes.
Hold your fruit, Nora.
I like.
Nora Faithful, hold your fruit.
Sorry.
I'm Azaram, not Karja. So I'll put it to you straight. The 13th Sun King was a murderous bung. Oh, he was.
And crash. I have one last thing I can try. We're literally down to my last potential fix. This is hex editing. That's the level we're at here. Listen, nobody can deal with Erend. He's too good. The last fix I tried was cranking everything down, which is what we just did. Obviously, it didn't work. Is my PC plugged in? Hang on. What do you know? PC was turned off this whole time. Good catch. Yeah, you'll notice a lot of our crashes have been during cutscenes, which is unusual, to say the least. Alright, time to hex edit. No, I regularly don't run with an active antivirus, Larian. You can probably guess why, given my profession. Okay. Hang on, we're gonna try hex editing first, then we're gonna switch. Then I'm gonna take a lunch break and just de-gauze from 5 hours of my life being wasted. And then we're gonna come back and play on the PS4, if that is the route that ends up working here. Or not working, I guess. Would be the equivalent. So first thing we do is this. Always make backups, especially before you edit an exe file. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm gonna say if it goes fine for about, say, 50 minutes, randomly number picked with no reason whatsoever, and we'll see what happens. But seriously, if this successfully manages to not crash for 50 minutes, I'd say we're okay. The catch, of course, is, you know, that's sad that we're at the point where we're crashing at a rate faster than once per 50 minutes, but whatever. And we're back here. The autosaves are good.
John, get down from there. Bad enough you're drunk. Why do you have to go climbing houses?
For you'll have to tell this when
Not
I'm
supposed to
gone.
go climbing on other people's...
Aloy, over here.
What?
Karst?
Careful.
How could...
Don't be and wait.
So,
Well, there.
I won't... I'm joking.
All right.
See you later, Karst.
Good luck.
Oh, what tutorial? What the fuck is that? Because all I skipped was the dialogue, which I already heard. Whoops, didn't mean to hit that.
In a moment, we shall bless the proving. But first, we have guests to welcome.
How do all those beads stay on her arms?
For 2 years, we have been at peace with Akarja. It is time to restore our bonds of trade with Meridian. These envoys come to us under a banner of peace.
An enunciation of gratitude written by the hand of Sun King Avad.
Killers and slavers! Hey, hold your fruit. Nora Faithful, hold your fruit. Now, I'm Azaram, not Karja, so I'll put it to you straight. The 13th Sun King was a murderous bung. Oh, he was. He was a tyrant and a monster. He raided my tribe for a blood sacrifice, just like yours. My own sister was taken. I hated the Karja. But the 13th king is dead. 2 years now. Now, who killed him? The 14th. Not because he lusted for power, but because someone had to put an end to his father's atrocities.
Yeah!
The message that this poor priest means to read is an apology. Straight from the lips of the 14th king. So please, can't you lend him your ears?
I like Erend. Always have.
Thank you. An enunciation of gratitude written by the hand of Sun King Avad. 14th luminance of the Radiant Line. People of Sonora.
Old man. Unknown device detected. He's wearing a focus, just like mine.
The Carja stands with you. As the
You're the only other person I've ever seen wearing a focus. Where did you get yours?
What? A Nora? Wearing one of these? That's impossible. Your tribe fears the old places, forbids them.
Who says I'm like other Nora?
Why, I guess you're not. If you've gone delving in the ruins of the metal world.
What's wrong?
Apologies. A malfunction.
Oh, Lynn? You making friends with locals, are we?
I'll come back.
Wait.
No. We'll talk later. Have to go.
Whoa. Well, I guess he's more hungover than I thought. Hey, you got the same trinket that Olin has on his head. Since when did those become fashionable?
His name is Olin? Who is he? And where did he get one of these?
He's just a scrounger with friends in high places. Now, he spends half his time digging for artifacts, the other half drinking or dicing. As for the trinket, well, I guess he dug it up somewhere. Just a weird old jewel he sticks on his face. I mean, no offense. It looks great on you.
I thought your friend was gonna go down in a hail of fruit, but you really calmed the crowd.
Thanks. I wasn't sure I could do it. The Nora is still pissed with the Carja about the Red Raids, and who can blame them?
I wanted to ask you something else.
If you want. But I'll also be around after that blessing thing, if that'd be a better time to talk.
I never heard anything about Red Raids growing up. What were those?
Your tribe was at war and you didn't even know? Were you kept hidden away? Did you have overprotective parents or something?
I grew up as an outcast, shunned by the tribe.
Oh, yeah, I've heard the Nora do that. That seems cruel, if you ask me. But even an outcast knows about the derangement of the machines, right? How they get deadlier every year? Well, the mad Sun King figured if he spilled enough blood to the Sun God, it would calm the machines. Didn't work. But for years, he raided the tribes and took captives for sacrifice. My sister among them. The Nora put up a good fight, but lives were lost.
So what happened? How did it all end?
The Mad King's own son united Carja rebels with Oseram freebooters. And together we did the impossible, took back Meridian and killed the crazy old king. So now the son sits on the throne and it's a big improvement. Under Avad, there's no more sacrifices, no more slavery. People from all tribes are welcome in Meridian now, even Nora exiles. You really should come visit.
Who are the Oseram?
Oh, that's my tribe, far to the northwest. We're good at three things: arguing, working steel, and brewing.
And freebooters. What are those?
I guess you could say we were mercenaries, warriors for pay. Except a lot more loyal than that makes us sound. Avad couldn't have taken down his father without our metal and muscle. And now some of us serve proudly as his personal vanguard.
Your sister was taken captive and sacrificed. That's terrible.
Captive, yes. Sacrificed, no. It takes more than a few Carja to finish Ursa. She got away, and now she's my captain. Captain of the entire Vanguard. Favored by the Sun King himself.
How did she survive?
Well, that's a story, all right, but it takes a while to tell. Maybe another time over a drink or three?
Stop
or just
flirting
come
with
to
me.
Meridian and meet her yourself. I think you'd like each other. You're both rather, direct.
So, does the stream look stuttery at all to you guys? I'm just wondering. Like, obviously now it's... Is it still doing it? No, it stopped. What the hell is this game doing?
You said the machines have been getting more dangerous every year.
Yeah, I don't have to tell you that, right?
First I've heard of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed everyone knew. Well, the way I hear it, 15, 20 years ago, the machines weren't always pissed off like they are now. When a hunter came at them, they'd spook and run. So it was hard to take them down, but not dangerous, so long as he was smart enough to jump out of the way. But then the derangement starts up and everything changes. Now, when a hunter fires a shot, the machines snarl and charge right at him. A few more years pass and they start attacking people on sight. Going anywhere becomes a major risk. If that wasn't bad enough, entirely new kinds of machines start showing up. Bigger, meaner, and heavily armed.
Like the Sawtooth.
Yeah, 10 years ago, that one. But every couple of years or so, something worse comes along. Believe me.
So what's making it happen?
And no one knows. And the machines, well, they aren't telling.
So, that's the derangement. So, it looks like the stream is fine, which is good. Let me test something here really quick. Forgive me. Let me just do... Yeah. That looks a little off. Hang on, I could probably fix that. There we go. Maybe that'll fix it. No, it's still stuttery as hell. Am I stuttery? No, I'm fine. What is this thing doing? So OBS itself is stuttery right now. Like it's frame dropping constantly. Like the level gauge, and my mixer is weird, and my timers are weird. All that's weird, but it looks like I'm nice and smooth. Like, see? No issues with me, and no issues with the game. I've never encountered that before. It looks like it hasn't crashed yet, although I've been hearing some audio issues. Thank you, Eclectic, very, very much. I will put that towards Oxygen Not Included, a game I'm rather looking forward to, actually. As I say, feel free to confirm or deny here, but it looks on my end like I'm fine, which is just weird. I guess it's not necessarily an issue. As long as the game is fine, it doesn't really matter. And as long as I'm fine too, although I matter even less. Let's just keep going for now. We'll just kind of live with it.
If the Karja have such a cruel history, how did you end up serving them?
The last king and his men were butchers. But the new king wants peace. There's nothing cruel about that. Besides, the Karja don't just fight, they build. But take Meridian. Next to it, everything else is just a bunch of sticks and stones.
Just how big is Meridian? What's it like?
Where do I even start? My tribesmen are masters of the forge, the best tinkers in the world. But when it comes to building, the Karja have us beat. The city soars over a canyon with more bridges than the Nora have roads and buildings tall as mountains. And across the valley stands the spire, like a blade thrust into the sky, reflecting the sun. You really owe it yourself to see it. So consider that a challenge. Or an invitation.
God, their eyes are wigging out. Are you seeing their eyes? Like, look at her eyes right now. It's like she can't focus on anything, so it's just bounce, 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 bounce.
I want to ask you about something you said.
Ask away.
I've never seen armor like yours before.
You've never seen Vanguard steel? Well, let me introduce you. Ring-locked, impact-protected, sturdy enough to choke a sawtooth. It has to be. The Vanguard of the Sun King's best. Life-takers and machine breakers to a one. You might even give a Nora warmaid like you more trouble than she can handle.
With all that metal to slow you down? I doubt it.
Yeah, hard to say. From where I'm standing, looks like a pretty even match.
Oh yeah, the hair is also just all over the place.
What else do you know about Olin?
Is he really that interesting? I'm starting to get jealous. Well, he scours the wilds for ruins, digs up stuff, and sells it to nobles. When he's not scrounging, he's scouting. Exactly the skills you want the man guiding your expedition to have. I've known him for a few years. He's a loyal companion, cares for his family, holds his drink well enough. I like him, but besides that, not much to tell.
You know what? I just realized who Erend is. Oh, what's his name? As I alt-tab, and again, that's been crashing nonstop. Oh, what's his name? Oblivion. One of the first guys you meet. He can die during a later quest in the main plot chain. Member of the Blades. His actor's fine, but he mispronounces words constantly. Anyways, this guy is that guy, but like a better version of him.
I should make my way to the blessing.
Yeah. Look, maybe I shouldn't say this, but it's obvious that you don't belong in this backwater. I mean, you're smart. You're obviously capable, and...
Erend.
Well, I mean, look at you.
Erend.
What are you talking about?
You know what. All right, if you ever visit Meridian, look me up. I'll show you around, make introductions. It'll be a whole new life, if you want it. Anyway, I have to go to that blessing thing, too, so, see you around? Maybe?
Boris, that's him.
I won't let the Carja Faithless stop me from enjoying the festival. What harm can they do now?
Well, I was going to talk to the priest, but Nerzaz said to, so I can't now.
You know.
Or maybe I won't. Huh. Well, apparently I really won't talk to the priest. Oh. Excuse me, Erend.
Now start the blessing when all aspirants are in place.
Excuse me.
Aloy, take your place right there. The prayer lantern is yours. I made it for you.
Thank you, Tirsa. You're still awesome.
Blasphemy. Sisters.
Aspirants, before each of you sits a prayer lantern crafted by your mother. In her honor, light its flame.
In honor of Rost. And all he did to help me get here.
Oh, Mother, hear our prayer. What is the child but a mother's hope that takes flight?
No, the graphics are cranked back down.
That climbs the air.
Although I suppose I could just check right now. Yep, nope, we're cranked all the way down. Not that that fixed anything.
Wind, sailing the sky till it fades and falls. So, from one to another passes the chain of love.
I am building a theory for what's been happening in my case, though. Funnily enough. I'll go ahead and share it. So I think there's an audio glitch that's happening. You might wonder, well, what would that have to do with anything? Well, I've heard the audio glitching several times ever since I made that hex edit. And why is that relevant? Well, the hex edit changes a flag from whatever exists previously to 9090909090, which some of you will know what that means, but the long and the short of it is, it tells the game to not crash. That's the summary. I'm wondering if the audio glitches are just happening, and the game is designed to crash when those audio glitches are happening. I don't know what could be done to fix the audio glitches, so But I don't mind a few every now and again. Now, there is one last thing. It didn't even occur to me. We could try to FPS limit it. This shouldn't change anything. I mean, we could FPS limit it to 30, but let's leave that for one last option in case this hasn't.
I have some questions for him.
Your blessing was most illuminating. I've never seen its like. A rare gift.
Wait, what do you mean stereo, the sound? The sound is in stereo? Wait, actually, no, it isn't. Or maybe it is. Nope, that's just... Hang on. Nope, that's right. That's right. Although it's saying 7.1, what it shouldn't? Well, that wasn't it. That's... Ham.
Usually the distance between our tribes shrouds Nora ways from Karja eyes. But here among you, I see a beauty that shines true. Perhaps Naman is right after all, that the sun's light brightens all lands and all peoples.
Who's Naman?
One of my brethren, who believes the sky is wide enough for the faiths of all tribes.
Who is the Sun King you speak for?
His Luminance Avad is the 14th king of the Radiant Line. His light envelops the sky and everything beneath it. He is the chosen of the sun. By his divine rule, we are given sight and purpose.
You speak highly of him. Do you know him well?
By his nature, he is unknowable and infallible. We are his instruments, not his companions. I have been in his presence, but we draw down our hoods so as not to behold his light directly.
He's the sun, he has total power, and no friends. That couldn't go wrong. If your Sun Kings are so infallible, how do you explain the crimes of the last king?
Well, the sun's glory is a great and brazen crown for a vessel as small as a man. If the vessel is flawed, indeed in the burial caves, one can see the skulls of the past kings are cracked, trialed and fired in the sun's kiln. That can be too much for any man to bear, even a ruler of men.
So the sun can make bad choices like anyone else?
Oh, no.
But...
Has there ever been a Sun Queen?
Many wives and consorts, of course. Or... Oh, you mean for the sun to choose a queen? This has not happened.
Why not?
The sun is masculine, of course, and so would choose its heirs thus.
It's a light in the sky. I've never seen anything dangling from it. I don't know if you've noticed, but women run things around here.
Well, Avad took a woman as captain of his vanguard, the first to hold such an honor.
You mean Aaron's sister, Ursa. From what he told me, she sounds formidable.
Oh, formidable indeed. A woman, and an outsider as well.
She might make a fine Sun Queen, given a chance.
A Sun Queen? Oh, no.
Not even gonna... No.
Who are you, Sun Priest?
I am the Reverend Irid. The glory of the Karja is the sun's glory, reflected. We Sun Priests are but glimmers of its great light.
You just said a lot, but you didn't tell me anything.
My apologies. My duty is to carry out the will of the sun by serving its emissary among us, the Sun King. I comfort those who walk by the light of day, and I travel to those in far reaches whom the light barely touches, bearing warmth.
So you live in Meridian?
I do. Where better to mark the sun's divine passage than where the sandstone glows in the light of its passing? I was raised in the mesa's great shade, its wild bird markets and metal sellers, spices and colored silks.
Sounds impressive.
Oh, you should behold it. And you can if you make the journey. At His Luminance's order, we have flung its gates open to all.
Any Nora who leaves the sacred land becomes an exile. But hey, who knows where I'll end up.
By the way, that's a funny little thing. So there's Outcast, and then there's Exile. Another, layer.
Did you come all this way just to deliver your Sun King's speech?
It is my duty, and also my honor, to carry the light of atonement to those we overshadowed and wronged. I swallowed my fear, but it re-emerged. I am glad Erend van Guardsman made this journey. He is my shield, a good man.
Why were the Karja at war with the Nora?
Under the 13th Sun King, the Karja had no peace with any tribe. His luminance has sent those days to dusk. We must renew the light that binds us, though few volunteered to come here.
The Nora scare you. They're good at making people feel unwelcome.
It's said one soldier died for every Nora taken alive. But I see you can be as calm as you are fierce.
This has been illuminating, but I should get going.
You have already been blessed, but may the dawn find you, the day warm you, and the dusk have light to guide your path.
All as intent the warrior mother is, she's going to win.
Aloy, now that the blessing has been made, you and I finally have a moment to speak. I hope the ceremony wasn't too unpleasant for you, given your circumstances.
I can't say it was comfortable, but I could see the beauty of the ritual, even so.
It takes a generous heart, Aloy, to commend a ritual that venerates all that you were denied.
All I'm saying is that it didn't bother me. I have bigger things to worry about than hearing the Nora mumble about their mothers.
I see. I imagine you must have questions for me then.
It surprises me the tribe lets outcasts run in the Proving. It's not like the Nora to be so hospitable.
It has always been law that any child outcast has this right, as a means to rejoin the tribe. So far as I know, however, you are the first ever to exercise this right.
I'm not surprised. I doubt many outcast children survive long enough in the wilds to come of age.
I think, rather, it is because child outcasts are so rare. In all my years, I've only known of one other child who was cast out. A boy of 13, who killed his mother. But at the Proving 5 years later, he did not appear.
No. I'd be surprised if he survived very long on his own.
But at least he had a chance. Other tribes would have simply executed him. It may be hard for you to accept, Aloy, but the practice of shunning is, relatively speaking, humane.
Oh, is it? Try it out for 18 years, Tirsa, and then let me know what you think.
There you go, she's 18.
Why was I made an outcast at birth, Tirsa? What crime could I have committed even before I was born?
Aloy, this is not a question I can answer.
Why not? It's simple enough. And what about my mother? Is she here tonight, watching me? Or is she dead? Is she here? Or nowhere?
I am sure your mother is here with us, if only in spirit.
That's not really an answer, is it? Just so you know, Tirsa, the reason I'm here is to get answers. Real ones. And when I win the Proving, I will demand them.
I know, Aloy. I would expect nothing less.
What about Rost? Why was he made an outcast?
So, he never told you?
He said he swore an oath never to speak of it.
Yes. As did I, and the other matriarchs. I'm sorry, Aloy, but Rost's past is another secret I must keep from you.
What else is new? Rost told me that matriarchs don't just lead the tribe. What else do you do?
We teach, offer counsel, give blessings. When necessary, we judge. Our only concern is the welfare of the tribe. Among our number this year, we count 3 High Matriarchs and some 30 Lesser Matriarchs.
What's the difference?
Matriarchs are grandmothers with 2 generations of living progeny. But a High Matriarch is a great-grandmother with 3 or more generations to her name. Thus do we speak for generations, lending our opinions weight. The High Matriarchs most of all.
So, the more children you have, the more authority you get? I guess that's one way to decide who leads a tribe.
Why would there be any other?
I'm sorry. Just what do I even have to add to that? It's also an interesting way of ensuring that reproduction is something that's given a lot of weight, assuming biological need was not enough for that.
Why does Lansra hate me so much?
She is a woman of extreme opinions. More than that, I cannot say.
It's not my fault that I was born, or that the matriarchs decided to cast me out.
I side with you in this matter, but there are differences of opinion, and any vote of the High Matriarchs requires a majority.
I should be going. I'm sorry if I've been too harsh. It's just, I've wanted answers for so long.
I know, child. You're not the only one who's waited years for this day. I will be praying for your success.
Why is she the only one who has good lip syncing? It's kind of strange, actually.
His girl, her sister. Imagine.
Oh, there he is.
Hello, Olin.
You know my name? Ah, guess Aaron told you.
Why did you act so strange when we spoke earlier?
Must be this festival. I'm really not one for crowds. Maybe I should just turn in.
Stop dodging my questions.
All right, cool your fire. I got nothing to hide.
I've never seen anyone else with a focus. Where exactly did you find it?
In a ruin, north of the Claim. That's our name for the Oseram homeland. Up there, the metal seams run deep. Steel giants half buried in loose soil. Forgotten caves that the old ones bored into mountain rock. Your eyes just lit up.
I found my focus in a cave just like you're describing. A ruin of the old ones.
If you've delved yourself, you know as much as I do. Go to those places for answers. Not me.
When we spoke earlier, you winced, then looked like you were in pain. Or frightened. Did your focus show you something?
It didn't show me anything. I told you. It malfunctioned. Happens all the time.
You're not a very convincing liar.
Do you always accuse people you've just met of lying?
Only the ones who aren't telling the truth.
Fire and spit, girl. I'm a plain hammered man with nothing to hide. You don't believe me, that's your trouble, not mine.
What are you doing here, Olin? Why come to Norland?
Aaron needed a scout for his expedition, and a second for his drinking, that's all. Someone to stop the Sun Priest getting lost. When all this is over, I'm back to delving ruins, rummaging for scrap, scrounging up trinkets to sell.
So you're an explorer?
Just another Outlander, girl. A man's gotta make his shards. I just make mine in service to the King's court, that's all.
I don't understand. We have this device in common, but you can't wait to stop talking to me.
I already have all the friends I need, girl. I don't need the bother.
I'm used to being shunned by the tribe. I thought you'd be different.
It's nothing personal. It really isn't. You should try to enjoy yourself tonight. Big day tomorrow. Always best to make every day count.
Yeah, the voice acting has been good. The lip syncing bounces back and forth between being accurate and face-palmingly terrible. I've actually started watching their faces specifically to look at the animations. It is fascinating to watch them go back and forth between, oh, okay, to, ugh, in literally the same cutscene. what to make of it.
Motherless chuff.
What did you say?
Find your bed, outcast, and dream of winning the proving. That's the closest you're gonna get.
Nice person, really.
Oh, this is the bed house? With you standing guard, I figured it was the latrine.
Your very presence here.
If I'm being honest, I don't remember El Lobo.
Well, well. Look who's come in from the wild. The motherless outcast.
There's the other jackass. We get one jackass out of the way, now I gotta meet the other one. That's how that works. Jackasses often... I'm gesturing at a camera you can't see. Jackasses often travel in pairs.
I see you've still got a scar from where that rock I threw hit you. Now that's a cherished memory.
You can be a real lard sometimes, boss. Cut it out.
Are you gonna let
You didn't
Boss
know the
talk
words
to you
of the
that way?
blessing, did you?
I wouldn't.
But no one hears your prayers anyway. Aw, you even try to dress like a real Nora. Not that it fools anyone.
So this is how it's gonna be with you, is it?
This is how it's gonna be with everyone, outcast.
Proven
You
wrong.
belong in the wilds, not Mother's heart. And you definitely don't belong in the proving.
You can sense it. You already know you're gonna lose.
I've trained all my life for the proving. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of anything.
Really? Confidence is quiet. You're not.
You know, I often think of the day I gave you that scar. It's a cherished memory.
Yeah. The look on your face when I knocked that stone out of your hand was pretty entertaining. But I suppose you leave that part of the story out when you tell it, don't you?
I branded you that day to mark your shame.
All you did that day was make me stronger. Just wait. I'll show you tomorrow.
Yeah, right. This is boring. Time for Boss to get some sleep. You'll be the one surprised tomorrow, outcast. Not me.
Oh, are you gonna shut your mouth?
Because that would be a surprise.
Nice job handling Bast. That should keep him quiet. Till morning, anyway.
I don't believe we've met. I'm Aloy.
Oh, I know who you are. The competition. The others, they'll finish the proving. Most of them. But win it? That's down to Bast, you, or me. Vala.
Nice to meet you, Vala. You're right. I am going to win tomorrow.
Never celebrate a victory before it's earned, girl. My mother taught me that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get some sleep. I plan to be well rested when I run you into the ground tomorrow. Your bunk's right there when you want it.
Okay. Thanks.
So, your first day in Mother's heart. What do you think? You've never slept in a Nora lodge before. Not very private.
It has certain charms.
Homey enough, once you're accepted.
That's the problem.
I think you'll find a place here. I do. Get some rest.
Well, I hope so, Zakdav. I really don't remember. Did I succeed at this last time? I don't feel like I did. I remember being irritable about it. issues, Disco.
Braves! Ready yourselves!
What will it take to get you out of here?
Razor!
Your trophy is shattered, outcast. Looks like you'll need another.
I wonder if people like this just, you know, constantly feel terrible about being so awful and being proven wrong all the time. I don't know, just food for thought.
I need a trophy to continue. Come on! I've gotta catch up. I've gotta catch up.
Slow and steady now. All you need is to finish. That makes all but one. Is the outcast coming?
She was behind me!
Looks strong, I thought.
Look how large those arms are, by the way. See those? This is actually a nice little tidbit. They pretty much force you to go through an area where you have to see this thing up close before you know what it is.
Dead last, girl. Might as well walk from here. Boss will win, or Vala, but you'll be made a brave so long as you finish. Oh, now, that's an old trail. 2 died on it last year. It's falling apart. Better dead last than dead altogether. Whoa, 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 whoa! My old mother, are you crazy? You're gonna kill yourself! It doesn't get any easier! You're insane to go that way! That's it.
No way but forward now.
Stop right there. Losing the lead! I can't see! Boss, so follow right.
Come on now. Faster. Stop dragging. Gotta keep going.
The outcast. Camille Trail? Is she crazy?
Good. I'm gaining.
Whoa! The outcast is catching up! How'd she get up there?
Made it. Come on now, hurry. Keep at it. The wilds. Precision.
Shot of the arm.
Not enough. Must be perfect. Come on,
another?
You can make it. Can't let them beat me now.
didn't win! The outcast cheated!
An outcast win the proving? Never. For she is a brave now.
You did it.
As are you all. So long as you put your trophy on the altar. But it is Aloy. Once outcast, and now brave, who is first among you.
Ah!
So anyways.
Keep them pinned down till the others arrive.
We can't stay here. That's the way out. But we won't make it under fire.
They can't shoot if they're dead. Keep them busy. I'll find an angle.
Fast! Fast! Are you with us?
I'm with you!
Let's go. Now!
Too many of them! We can't win! We can't hold them! Oh, Mother, help us! Kill them!
Fight back! Damn you all!
Kill the defilers! They're too strong! We can't stop them!
Quick! Run for the slip wire!
Kill them all! No witnesses, no survivors!
Don't give up!
Oh no! There's more! They keep coming! How many are there?
Can't afford any more losses. Fight!
Coming.
Too many of them! We can't hold them! Oh, Mother, help us! Kill the invader! Kill them!
Watch out! There's more of them!
Oh no! There's more! They keep coming! How many are there? Too many of them! We can't hold them! Oh, Mother, help us!
Finish this!
Kill the defilers! Kill the invaders! They're too strong! We can't stop them!
Descend while we have a chance.
Dies now! Everyone, forward!
Round 3.
Turn your face to the sun, child. Burn it all, then to your task.
As you command.
Aloy. Aloy. Survive.
crap, we're in the tunnels in Pathologic 2. Damn it, I knew it! Hang on, we gotta find the heart being pierced with iron.
She is dying. To take her there is blasphemy. She should be near her mother.
I'm so sorry. Turn your face to the sun, child.
This is her being feverish. Very feverish. No, I'm gonna... Oh, maybe I can't. Can I not? Oh my god, I can't. Okay, well, I guess we'll just keep watching. So, I just want to get this out there. I'm gonna give a negative to story here. Sorry.
No. I have to get out of here. I need my focus. No. Rost saved me. They must have found me before I bled out. But why is no one here?
So, really small little tidbit, but I do like how it's obvious that this is another facility. I mean, the doorway gives it away more than anything else.
I need to find my focus.
But you could actually tell just by looking at the walls and the calcification thing, which we've already seen as well, so... yeah, I can freeze now. Alright, so... We haven't crashed yet. Knock, knock, knock. But, yeah... I'm debating 2 negatives to story, to be honest with you. In fact... Yeah, 2 negatives to story.
87 negatives to story.
Sorry. Oh yeah, speaking of which, world building, I need to jot that one down too. So, I'll talk these out, and then, well actually, since fingers crossed, I think we might be stable? I don't know if you guys noticed, let's talk this out first, but I don't know if you guys noticed this. Hi. But there were several clear and obvious glitches throughout that whole section, ever since I edited the Hex edited the AXE. I don't know if you guys have actually noticed that, and I'm not trying to cause anything. It's just I've been paying attention, and I've noticed quite a few. Come on. I'm starting to very strongly suspect the Hex edit is going to work in my case. Because I'm thinking, based on contextual clues, God, I shouldn't even say this because this is just damning it, but I'm thinking based on contextual clues that what is happening is that periodically just issues are happening, right? And then the game is being told, because that is actually what I removed. I removed the Hex edit to crash the game. That's what I did. I removed that flag from the script. Excuse me, there were 160 of them. And so that... all those little issues and bugs that keep happening up are no longer crashing the game, therefore the game is no longer crashing. Now that may lead to some long-term instability issues, but that appears to be what's going on as of this moment. It is also possible it's still broken. And again, unfortunately, the only real way to test that is to just keep playing the game. So, negatives to story. I don't know why I'm theoretically leaving them, but I'm going to chew on this during the lunch break because I'm already 10 minutes into here. I like the story of this game overall. I like the characters, I like the world building, I like the concept, I like the way they unfold things. I love things I can't talk about this story, right? But several beats of these early points are just so predictable and badly executed. And that an eclectic kind of, I think you get where I'm going with that. And anybody who knows this game probably knows what I'm talking about. It does the Hollywood thing. That's my terminology. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, and I don't care. But it does the Hollywood thing, where you can actually, you could pause the movie and say, these are the next 5 things that are going to happen. And then they happen. But predictability by itself is not necessarily a bad thing. That's what it is. It's when the predictability pulls away from the moment, when it actually pulls away from it and detracts from the experience, that's negative territory. And that comes down to execution. In this case, these executions, what the hell, right? The execution of a lot of the story beats that have been happening to Bart. Now, this is the overall, by the way. This is just the game. This is a negative for execution of predictable story points. The other negative, however, was for everything about the cutscenes around the end of the proving. Like, all of those specific moments, those scenes, were so badly presented to me that it took a character that I had, it took 2 characters I had investment in, 1 character I didn't care about, and 1 character I also had investment in, and just didn't do anything interesting with any of them. It was just like, all right, let's get to point B. And that's what that whole thing felt like. Let's go. We need to establish the villain, and so he needs to do this, and then he nearly kills you, but then he puts her down for no reason. And then he has the big fight, which was very badly edited. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Presentation and execution were just so lacking that the entire scene just felt like, ugh, to me. And it sapped what should have been a powerful and emotional moment. Because I liked Rost. In fact, Rost is already a story positive, and I stand by that. But his actual death and the lead up to that was just... That's the 2 negatives. Yeah, let's kill off allies before they can develop. Let's have a lengthy combat section, which was weird. In total contrast to the earlier combat section with the Sawblade, or the Sawtooth, it was the Sawtooth, which was actually very well designed. That combat section with those dudes was just kind of whatever. The only good part that gameplay was the fact you could pick up the frickin' gun. Now, that being said, that's a thing I need to jot down here. I'll debate that later. All of this is still in italics because I'm still debating all of this, but I just wanted to talk that out. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to take a brief lunch break because I've already streamed into my lunch break. I will see you guys in about 50 minutes. I'm just going to leave the game running and hope. We'll see.